She wants a young American. It's all right. She wants a young American.
Hundreds of people here celebrating David. All would like to hug him, but he's gone. What are your thoughts watching these crazy and wonderful people around here?
I think it's great when somebody's clearly touched the hearts of so many people that they have a convention each year and they all get together and so on. It's very reassuring, I think, that memory is kept alive.
Your career started with much luck. You were young and made a photo that went into a museum.
It's not luck, though, is it? But it's not. It's what I was taught to do. I studied photography at art school, and I mean there are elements, I think, during people's career where you can say that they've been lucky at different stages, but I think if you pursue a career path, then there's no luck to it. It's continuing to do the things that you did when you were at art school. You know, it's what I was trained to do, so that's what I wanted to do, really. I mean, it's great that the V&A bought the picture off me, and subsequently, you know, I've sold a lot of pictures to different galleries, but it's quite reassuring. It shows you're doing the right thing when the public gallery wants to buy one of your photographs.
How did a shoot happen? For example, the 1997 shoot in New York City. How much time did you had? I never need much time when I'm working with somebody, because when you work for a music paper, it's kind of, you're used to maybe sometimes getting 10 minutes with a musician in a hotel room, or you might get, if you're lucky, you can go on tour with them for 5 days, or it varies. You never really know how much time you're going to get with anybody. But I think with Bowie, you don't need a lot of time, because he's very good at having his picture taken. So he understands the process. So you're not wasting time. He's not pulling faces. He's not distracting himself by talking to other people around you. He focuses very much on the job. So I've probably got about half an hour of actually taking pictures, but maybe 2 hours in that I was talking to him beforehand and afterwards, which is, to me, more important part of the job sometimes, to get them to relax and to get them to understand what I'm looking for in a picture. You worked with natural light, I think, not with...
Sorry?
You worked with natural light?
Yeah.
Or using a flash?
No, I never use a flash, no. I always work with natural daylight if I can. Even if I'm working in a studio, I try to use daylight.
Did he came alone for this shoot, or with a crowd of people around him?
I think he had a couple of people with him, but I told them to stay out the way. I don't like people around when I'm taking a picture. I like it to be one-on-one. And it's why I rarely work with an assistant, because it's just another distraction, really. I think when you're taking a portrait of anybody, it has to be a very intimate moment, and anybody else gets in the way, really.
Okay. Shooting compared to post-production, how many time did you spend, or do you spend, in post-production for a photo?
Don't spend any time in it at all.
It is as it is.
Everything I shoot is as it is. I don't spend any time retouching or trying to make it something that it wasn't. I know what I'm shooting, so I don't, you know, I grew up shooting on film, so you didn't need that. We're not, you know, we were a weekly music paper. We're not Hollywood. So everything,
you know, obviously there'd be a bit of work in the dark room just to take sections of a print darker or lighter or something. But generally, when I'm shooting a picture, I know what I'm looking for, so I know what the end result will be.
Okay, interesting. So my next question would have been, are you retired? You are not.
I'm not retired. I don't think photographers can afford to retire.
Yeah. Okay. Your advice for a young photographer?
Don't do it.
Why?
I don't see how people can earn a living really these days. There's very few magazines these days. Certainly in music. I mean, when I was at art school, there were probably about 7 or 8 weekly or fortnightly magazines. There were loads of monthly magazines. And now in England, there's 2 monthly magazines, Uncut and Mojo, and they might have 1 new session, an issue, and a lot of nostalgia. So I think when I started, it was an entry point to photographing anything really, and kind of getting your work published was to photograph live musicians. But these days everybody's taking photographs at concerts, so I cannot understand how anyone can make a living from it. I really don't. I think the only way to work in photography is to maybe work at what the kind of stuff that you're interested in, but that you don't think is going to earn you a living. I think there's a lot of good art photography at the moment, but even, you know, if you can afford to pursue that path, then that's great. But I think if you're looking to have work published, it's a very narrow field these days, and I really don't see how anybody can earn a good living from it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay.
You did a great job. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
It's all right. She wants a young American.